Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. I'm your co-host for today, Mike Bailey. And who's with me today?
Oh, I'm back again, Mike. This is Ellen. How are
Okay,
you doing?
good. I think you moved your phone though.
Good.
Your voice dropped off
Oh,
on a little bit on me. Okay,
okay.
and the last time we talked about no-till, correct? No-till gardening.
That's right.
And we didn't get completely done with that, and we kind of rushed the end. And then in our in between time here, we talked a little bit about ourselves, about this whole concept ourselves, and we thought that we should probably go back to this and kind of touch it up a little bit and make sure that it
Right.
sounds reasonable. So
Right. And I think it's important enough to do that. Yes.
yeah, I think it is too, because when you think about this, this all goes back to this concept of healthy soil and the importance
Correct.
of healthy soil if you want a good vegetable garden or if you want any kind of a good garden. And again, in the soil itself, okay, in undisturbed soil, there's a quite a structure that's set up between all the little critters, okay, that live in that garden soil, if you will. And that includes, the spiders and the ants and the bugs and the slugs and the worms and the beetles and and all the microscopic things like your bacteria and some of your viruses and actually funguses. Funguses are so very, very important in this whole chain
Right.
of command, because as organic material is broken down by those larger, if you will, okay, biological creatures, the worms and the beetles and things like that, they're eventually uh, uh, become the food source for bacteria and the viruses and the funguses in particular. And what they do, okay, they take that organic material and they actually, digest it and release the minerals, which are so very important for plants. They release them so that the plants can actually take up the minerals, and because that's what needs to be done. That's why we're adding organic
Right.
material to that soil.
Right.
And in fact, there's a good relationship between the plants and all those creatures in the soil, and that those plants, through the process of photosynthesis, what they're capable of doing is they make sugars in those leaves. And some of that sugar is sent down through the vascular system of the plant, down into the roots, and it's actually released at that particular site to that bacteria and that fungus in particular. In thanks, if you will, for the minerals that those bacteria and funguses have made available to the plants. So the plants take up those minerals that have been released by the bacteria and the funguses, and they carry them up the vascular system into that plant structure. Because keep in mind, through that process of photosynthesis, okay, they can't generate proteins for those fruit, okay, without those minerals, okay, that are coming up from the soil area. So that whole relationship is very, very important. And getting back to this whole no-till concept of adding organic material onto the top, okay, and allowing that biological activity to come up into that organic material and work on it and release those minerals,
Right.
we haven't disturbed, okay, that biological community in the soil. And that's what these articles that we talked about in the last session really kind of focus in on, the importance of not disturbing the
That,
biological activity within the soil.
right.
Uh,
Right.
so, we these articles talk about the ideal time is what, to start in the fall, but you don't necessarily
Well,
need to
yeah.
do that, do you?
Right. No, no, because you can't. I mean, if it's something you've decided you want to do, it's not necessarily that you decided a year ago. So you can do that now. As you start your garden season this year, you can start that no-till process just by adding. Just keep adding that good organic material to that garden bed.
Yeah, because take a look at your tomatoes and your peppers in particular. We use organic gardening methods at Emmaus. We don't use any chemicals. We're not officially certified as organic, but I don't really want to go through that whole crazy process. But we don't use we don't use chemicals. But
No, we don't.
we try to use cultural approaches. We try to grow things so that we keep the pests and diseases down to a minimum. And we've been very fortunate. Okay, for most of our plants, we don't have problems with pests and diseases. But you gotta follow some general rules. And one of the things to keep in mind is that when you talk about plant diseases, most of the plant diseases are funguses,
Right.
fungal infections.
Fungi, yes.
Some of them come in on the air, but a lot of them come from the soil, where if you got a nice tilled garden and you got some tomatoes in it, you get a good hard rain. Okay, that rain hits that soil and it splashes up on those leaves. There are funguses in that soil, okay, that'll attach to that leaves, and they'll take hold there, and that's where that disease process starts to take place.
Right.
So this is where I'm going back to adding this organic material to the top of that soil. A lot of leaves and grass clippings on top of that soil. Guess what? You don't get that splashing of the fungal material from the soil up on the leaves of the plants. Granted, we also we try to cut the leaves off of the bottom of some of our tomato plants and pepper plants and stuff like that, to kind of keep that
those
to a minimum.
from lying on the soil.
Yes,
Sure. Yeah.
but not having those disease-causing entities splash up on the leaves by having that hard rain dampened by hitting all that organic material really kind of makes a big difference.
It really does.
So that's one of the side benefits of this whole thing. So it's a good idea, and it's so much easier. It takes so much of the work
Makes our life
out of gardening. to number one, not to dig or till, etc. and stuff like that, and number two, not to have to weed, keep and watering less frequency.
Watering less
because the mulch holds the moisture in. It's it's a win-win-win-win-win. Okay,
Right.
all the way around. So I encourage you to do that. And Ellen, guess what? We burned up all our time
We're out
again.
of time.
So I guess I talked too much. Okay, but thank you for
No, that
listening,
was good.
and we hope that you join us next time. Thank you. Now, bye bye.
Okay. Have a good day.